From the beginning, our return on equity, our return on equity currently in the business is not compellingly high, I have to admit. And one of the reasons for that is that we are extremely well capitalized, which, as it turns out, has been to our great advantage, because notwithstanding the stress that the infrastructure space has been seeing, our balance sheet remains extremely strong. But one of the consequences of having 21% capital adequacy is that the return on equity is lower. Our current return on equity is about 12%. I expect that as we transition to the bank, this return on equity will dip somewhat. But I can't predict a number, but it will come down,
But what are the comfortable levels that you'd like it to be at, for the comfort also of the shareholders, because it will be a listed company?
It will be 8-9%. 8-9% is what it will dip to. And in 5-7 years, we will deliver a return on assets and a return on equity that should be in the top quartile of the banking system.
Which would be up to 15?
Which would be between 15 and 20, and a return on assets which will be closer to 2%, 1.5 to 2%.
How many years of pain do you see in this whole transition that you're going through right now? Because your operational cost has increased. It has hit your profits also in the last few quarters. Of course, it's front-ending, so it won't sustain for too long. What are you spending most on, and how long will this continue?
So, our spending is escalated permanently, because we've gone from 300 people to 1,200 people by October 1st. And this 1,200 person workforce will increase to over 2,000 people by March. Operational spending is a step function increase, right? It's really the cost of operations relative to the business that we are able to generate is eventually the metric that we are focused on.
So what is that percentage that you're looking at? For currently that
So the goal is, and our expectation is, that within 5 years, our cost to income ratio should be 30 to 40% less than the best in class in the banking system today.
That's an ambitious target. How much time? You said 5 years for that.
5 years.
And what is the mix between these three segments that you ideally want to have? And what is the timeline when you're going to really judge where it stands between commercial? Because right now 80% of your book when you start the bank will be on infrastructure lending.
So today, 95, 98, 100% of our profits come from the wholesale bank, right? I expect that 5 years out, the contribution of a wholesale bank to our profits will be between 80 and 85%. So now if you ask me what would be the contribution of these three businesses 5 years out on the basis of customers, I can tell you that 90% of our customers will come from Bharat Banking, or 80% of our customers will come from Bharat Banking.
But the profit contribution would not be as high.
And I can give you a sense for our targets for customer acquisition, right? Our goal within 5 years for sure is to have at least 15 million customers. 15 million customers from zero today. Although my ROE might dip, but every year, year on year, our goal is to increase our profits.
Okay. By
every
how much
year
are you targeting?
I again will hesitate to give you a number, but okay, I'll give you a broad range. If we are not able to do this at least 10-15% a year, I'll be disappointed.
You have therefore taken such aggressive steps, more than any other private lender right now, to clean up the balance sheet. In fact, so much so that the markets were clearly surprised last time in the quarter when you had taken a huge write down on account of power sector. Is more left, or are we done with it?
No, so the idea is that this quarter will be the last one where we do an aggressive cleanup. And that's the last quarter before we become a bank. We are taking, close to 2,500 crores of provisions.
Yeah, that you had.
And we'll just do that.
So 4,500 crores from the reserves that you are taking on account for the known stressed assets on your book.
Right.
And that will be the end of it, and you are very aggressive in it compared to the others.
Yeah.
Why no cautious stance like other private lenders?
See, our situation is very different from other banks. I mean, we are in this very unique phase of transition. So IDFC Limited will own 53% of the bank, and 47% of the bank will be held directly by existing shareholders at the moment of listing.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.